Hi everyone, this is Pat Pat. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about things you need to know if you're going to rent a place in Abidjan. Things that surprised me as a person who moved back to Ivory Coast, and I wanted to share our experience with you. So if you haven't watched my previous video, you can check out to see what you can get for a certain price in Abidjan, specifically in Cocody. So we visited a lot of places and we finally picked one of the places. I think it was house number 5 that we picked. We finally moved in, and I want to share with you all the process of renting a place and getting a place in Abidjan. So let's go. So the first thing that surprised me was that there is not a lot of houses available for the number of people looking for houses. So it's basically a seller market or a landlord market, people renting like me. So when you see a place, some places are still being built, and by the time they're done, they're already rent out. Or when you see a place, a lot of people come to see the place. So it's really like a seller's market. There's not a lot of houses. If you wait a little too long, you can lose the house that you want. So you kind of have to be very efficient in your search. That said, because it's a seller market, there are a lot of scams. I kind of knew that before, but I didn't really realize the extent of it. I know someone that gave all their money, the deposit money, to a person that they thought was connected to the landlord, and the person just disappeared with the money, and to this day they still haven't had their money back. And apparently these type of scams are very common. People rent or sell places that are not theirs, or they sell them twice or rent them to different people. Anyway, so you just have to be careful who you give your money to, because there's a lot of scammers. When you visit, whoever put you in contact with the place, you have to make sure before you hand them your money for the deposit, you have to make sure that they're actually connected to the landlord, they're actually working with the landlord, or maybe with the agency and all that. So that leads me to my third point. They're not, at least in my experience, I haven't seen a lot of licensed agencies. A lot of houses that we visited, it was through people who heard of a house to rent. They build their business on that. So they work with landlord or with agency, but they're not really part of an agency. So they hear of houses that are available, and they basically show them to the people in their network. And most of the time they will ask you for a certain fee to show you the house, which is not a lot, like maybe 5,000 usually to show you the house. But then the way they really make their money is that once you pick the house, you have to pay like a month of agency fee, and they will get a chunk of that agency fee basically. So there are a lot of people like that. Some of them are legit, they really work with the landlord or an agency that's, take care of the house, and some of them are not. They're trying to make a quick buck, and so you just have to be careful. And then one of the main thing that really shocked me in our search, because when we were in the States, we used to search on real estate website to see what type of things were available in Abidjan, and you will see pictures, not great pictures, but whatever, you will see pictures. But once we came here, the things we saw were really, like, some of the things we thought, we were shocked. And what I mean by that was they were in horrible conditions. Like, people will show you a house that's dirty, that has black mold, for example, that has trash all over the place, the toilet's filthy, and then they will say, oh, we are renovating it, or the landlord is waiting to get somebody to sign up so they can use the deposit money to renovate the house. And it's like you're taking a gamble. Are they really gonna renovate it as they're supposed to do, or are they just gonna do like a quick fix that's not up to your standards? So you just have to be aware of that. One way to get around that is to visit, to look at new construction. So a lot of new construction are really nice, but they may be more expensive. so that the giveaway. But yeah, we saw some dumps and I was shocked. I was shocked. Like some of those places, it was like health hazards. So it's up to you. Or do you want to take the risk of giving your money and they're gonna do the renovation or not? Or do you want to go with something that's already fixed up and all that? Which is what we ended up going with. We ended up going with something that was already clean, fixed up, and looked good. Because we really couldn't get over the dumps thing that's gonna be fixed. So that was the thing. And then one thing to be aware of is that the Ivorian law requires you to give 5 months of rent as a deposit in advance. So the landlord or the real estate agency cannot ask you for more than 5 months of rent, at least on paper. I don't think, maybe it happens, but what we saw, everybody was pretty much following the rules of the 5 months of rent. So what is the 5 months of rent for? So there are 2 months that are actual deposits that you're supposed to get at the end of your lease. There are 2 months that are 2 months in advance that you pay, and there's 1 month of agency fees. So whether or not, which was another surprising thing, whether or not you work with an agency, you will still have to pay that agency fee. And if there is no agency, I guess the person who show you the house is the person that get that fee. So 5 months. And then if your rent is over 500,000 francs per month, you may be required to pay an additional fee, because when a rent is, I just learned that, when a rent is more than 500,000 francs per month, the lease has to be registered with the tax department, the les impôts in Ivory Coast. I guess they have to declare it to the tax department. So the registration fee is 2.5% of your annual rent that you have to add to all those fees. Another thing also that you may have to pay is the deposit for the utilities, so the water company and the electricity company, because I guess a lot of time maybe people leave without paying up the bills or whatever. So usually if you work with the agency, they'll require you to pay a utility deposit in case you don't close your bill when you finish or whatever, so that they can pay it off. If everything is good by the end of your lease, you will get that money back, that deposit back. So that was it. And then one last thing I wanted to share about the utility thing. Sometimes it takes a while for the utility companies to come and reinstall your water or your electricity. So that's a long process. You have to plan for it when you move. But in our case, the previous renter, when they closed their account, the water company came to take the meter. So we had to wait for them to come reinstall the meter, which was the whole process. Additional fees that you had to pay to have it reinstalled before we were able to move in. The house did not have water. The electricity was still there, so for the electricity, it was just a matter of just transferring the bill to our name, but the water was a little more complicated. And that's it. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Let me know if you have any questions about renting a place in Abidjan. Let me know what your experience has been renting a place to Abidjan. See you next time.